Welcome to Brunch, Ariana. Cheers.
Thank you for having me. Ching ching.
Ching ching. Let's go. We're out here. Ariana está en Miami.
That's right.
Beautiful Miami.
Go fast.
Yeah. 305 that. You know, my first apartment when I moved to LA was 305. And like that's what sold me on it. I was like, it has to be this one. This is it. It's 305. Like, duh.
305 you die, even though you rep 787, right? That's Puerto Rico.
I rep 787 till I die.
305, and now LA.
305 has a special place in my heart. Ariana has talked about a trajectory, honey. Okay, Ariana. Ariana has done it all. She's been a dancer. She's been a beauty queen. She's an actress. She's an entrepreneur. And I kind of want you to walk us through your path.
So all my life, I've always been in the entertainment industry. I've always danced. I've always modeled. I've always sang. And, you know, I worked a lot till I was like, 9 years old. I wasn't going to school. Like even teachers would tell my parents, like, you know, why don't you bring her to school? She's just working too much. And then some teachers were like, she doesn't have to take the test. We get it. She's shooting. So I was like, okay, as a kid, I had loved it. I don't have to go to school. I'll do like homework on set. It's fine. So, but it got to a point where my parents were like, you know what, education is very important. She could do this later on in life if this is something that she really wants to do. So they put me in school full time. I kind of like quit, if you can say, the industry.
Because you were doing a lot of commercials and stuff when you were young.
A lot of commercials. I was doing movies. I was on Sábado Gigante. It's off the air, obviously, but back in the day, Sábado Gigante.
Like a child star or a child actor.
I mean, I was casting for Nickelodeon. I was going up to Orlando like weekly. So it was a lot for a child. You know what I mean? I graduated college. Actually, no, I graduated high school, and throughout college, I was still going through it. I was on Univision. I was in college. It was like my last year in college. I was studying mass communication and concentration in public relations. So then in college, I was approached to represent Cuba in an international beauty pageant. And I was like, well, I guess I am Cuban, I am Brazilian, I am American. I'm a little like...
Yeah, we need to talk about that mixture later.
It's like what I've always told people. It's like, you throw in a Brazilian, you throw in a Cuban, you throw in an American, you throw in some Lebanese, you mix it up into a little smoothie and like, hey. So then they approached me to represent Cuba for the first time in 50 odd years, because the last representation for Cuba in an international pageant was Miss Universe, like in the 50s. And I was like, wow, like that's tremenda oportunidad, you know what I mean? To be representing a country that doesn't have representation. And even as a Cuban American living in Miami who's never stepped foot in Cuba, I'm very in tune with that side because we live in Miami. Miami is like baby Cuba. And you know what, that's the thing, like with all the acting and all the telenovelas that I've done, they've always asked me like, can you do a Cuban accent? And I'm like, it's the only one I can't do.
Really?
It's the only one I can't do. Everybody makes fun of me. They're like, you're Cuban and you can't even do the accent.
¿Verdad? Es más difícil. A mí el dominicano me sale súper bien, el colombiano, mexicano, pero
el colombiano you always
complicado. Si me mantengo alrededor de cubano.
That's the thing. I think we have the ear for it. You know what I mean? We've gone through so much training and whatnot that like, I think our ears, like if we're surrounded by Venezolanos, then we're like, oye, chama, pero que, like, you know what I mean? And then like you're around Colombians and the same thing. And so it just depends. So anyways, I was like, I'm game, you know, let's represent this country, let's represent it well.
Bueno, y también en Miami realmente hay una comunidad bien grande de cubanos. So if you're Cuban from Miami and you're representing Cuba, I think that's totally valid.
The thing is, like with any kind of like mixture of cultures, like you're too Cuban to be American and you're too American to be Cuban.
For me, it took me a little bit when I was growing up to kind of understand that like New Yorkers were Puerto Rican too, you know what I mean? Like even in Puerto Rico, there was
Like you keep like separate from each other because you're New Yorican and you're from La Isla.
yeah, and it was always like, oh, but do you speak Spanish? Oh, but
Mm-hmm.
do you know if you go to La Isla, do you know where you're going? Oh, but do you have any family that lives there? Like it's always like it was always like a test to see like
Like
how.
how Puerto Rican you are.
And now I have opened my mind up a lot porque being Puerto Rican, just as being Cuban, just as being Colombian, just as being Venezuelan, whatever it is that you are, it's about your feeling. Like, do you feel that in your heart, you know? And it's about your culture. That's what being anything is, really.
It's what makes you essentially. And like, and it's funny because people tell me all the time, you're not Cuban, you're more Brazilian than you are Cuban. I'm like, who are you to tell me what I am? I
Mm-hmm.
am who I am. And it was the complete opposite when I got there. All the women were so nice. They were thrilled to meet other people from different parts of the world and kind of like join together for a bigger cause, because it was Miss Earth, and Miss Earth is a platform for, you know, Mother Nature, and you go in with like saying I want to, like, typical beauty queen stuff, right? Like world peace and all this stuff, but like more towards an environmental standpoint.
What was your favorite memory of Miss Earth?
Being in the Philippines. I
Because
got
living in the Philippines after
I
that.
ended up, well, that's the thing. I won one of the special titles in the pageant. So like you have like fourth, like Miss Earth, Miss, which is the winner, Miss Air, Miss Water, like all the elements of the earth, and then Miss Ecotourism, and I won Miss Ecotourism. And because of the obligations of that title, I had to stay a couple more months. So I went on different TV shows to promote and this and that. And they ended up offering me like a job, like co-hosting one of the shows. And I was like, I'm on the other side of the world. I don't know. Let me go home for Christmas and I'll let you know. And then it's my first time out of the country, and I was like, oh, this is a lot. So I wanted to come back home. I wanted to be with my dad because my mom was out there with me. So then I was home for 3 months. I talked to my family about it. Like we all gathered together as a family, the three of us, and we discussed it. And I was like, you know what, this is kind of like my dream. This is what I've always wanted to do. So let's try it. But my dad's only like requirement was that my mom had to go with me. I couldn't be by myself. So it was an adjustment, and then I went back and I stayed for 4 years.
You lived there for 4 years, and then
I lived it, and then my mom and I spoke about it. I spoke about it with my dad, and it was, you know, you can do this here. You have already the experience. You went to school. You did a college, pretty much. You were there for 4 years. You did college. So come here and do it here. So then I got home. I did auditions. I got a TV show on Univision. I was very fortunate to be back on the game as soon as I got back. So I would do like Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week for like Swim Week here, the TV shows that I was doing, but I had to keep up with that lifestyle. So what I was escaping in the Philippines, I was jumping back into here. So like, let's say for instance, for a shoot, oh, we want you at 115 pounds for this shoot. Okay, and then I get to 115 pounds. However, you need to get to 115 pounds by whenever it was, by shoot date. And then the following week, you do a fashion show, and oh my God, you're so fat. No, you need to lose 10 pounds. You can't be in a bikini in that weight. And it's so damaging to like, that's why I'm so happy about where the industry is going now, where it looks like it's going now to be a lot more inclusive.
You know what's crazy? I sometimes look at my pictures when I was younger and I was so skinny. And I always thought that I was too big.
Mm-hmm.
And now maybe and you know how they say like, oh, it doesn't matter, representation doesn't matter. When you see it all the time, you see that now women with curves are celebrated, or women that are bigger are celebrated, and there's beauty in everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I love my body now more than ever.
So everyone glamorizes like this entertainment industry, like the lights, the camera, the action, the dress, the makeup, the this, the that, but nobody really sees like what's behind the scenes of that. Like you don't know how much like pressure there is, like to get auditions, to get jobs, to even get somebody to represent you properly so that you can go to the audit. Like there's just so much. And then like once you get a job, like the pressure to do things right and get it on the first take, you know what I mean? Or like, it's just a lot of pressure, and nobody really like understands that until you're in it. And I'm sure you experience that all the time too.
Yeah, it's a lot. It looks easy, and it is kind of easy. Like, I don't want to be like, oh my God, I'm an actress. It's so hard. Like,
there's a lot of study that goes behind it too.
What I was saying is, like, for me, it's more the emotional toll it takes on people, because it's a very emotional turmoil. It's always like you're always getting rejected. You're always being told you need to change this about yourself. You need to change this about yourself. You need to change this about yourself. You're constantly having to portray emotions of different things all the time. Like, you're getting called at the drop of a hat to just shoot something, do this. Just, you got to be ready at all times.
And then like, it's hard too with the instability, because you could be working a month straight, back to back to back, commercials, photo shoots, esto que el otro. Entonces the next week or the next month, no te cae ni una cosa. Exactly. You know what I mean? And then how can you keep a steady amount of income and have a job and like do this at the same time? And that's where I was like in my mid-20s. And I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I'm running against time. Like, I feel like I'm always playing catch up. I was trying to have a job. I was trying to like still do what I loved. And it was a lot, and I couldn't take it anymore. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be young forever. Like, I need to put my foot down and kind of like make a career, like a stable career. And you know, my favorite memory of one of like all time is having you interview me. I thought it was such a full circle moment, because like we've been friends for so many years con el teatro y tal. Y entonces like we're on red carpets, and like you get to interview me, I get to interview you. It was just like so much fun.
We've interviewed each other on red carpets.
I feel like you're like one of the only friends that I still have from like the industry, but like that I've been able to carry over. And I feel very fortunate to like have you in my life. Like, okay, we'll get emotional for a minute. I'm very lucky to have such a person that like is who they are. And anyone is fortunate to have you in their lives, like 100%, because you're so real. Like, you're always encouraging people to be their best self, and like, even like with the flaws that whoever may have, because we're not perfect, right? We're human. You bypass that, and you're like, you know what? No me importa eso. I see more, like you see more the positive in people than you do like their faults. And that's such a great attribute to have. I feel very fortunate to have you in my life.
Thank you, friend. No, honestly, it's an easier way to see life when you kind of, I just try to keep my mental health. I want everybody around happy. I like happiness. It's kind of like I feel like a little bit of my purpose in life is to bring happiness. I like to motivate people, for people to live their best lives. You know, it's not easy. Like, there's a lot of tears, and there's a lot of sadness that goes in life. So why, when you can be happy, be happy?
So, okay, I went to school. I studied fashion because fashion was always a part of my life. I worked retail to try to like keep up a steady income coming in. I worked at a lot of different stores, luxury and not luxury, anything in between. So that's how I kept like a steady flow of income coming in, but still having like the ability to like go on auditions and shootings and whatnot. So then I went to school for fashion. I graduated with a bachelor's in fashion merchandising. And then I started working in the retail industry, like the corporate side of fashion. So I was like a fashion executive, if you will. So I would go to stores and kind of like visually merchandise the store, or I was part of a buying team and kind of like was buying the next collection of whatever was coming out and whatever the designers like presented. So I was in like corporate side of fashion for about 6 years. I was like, yeah, I got tired quick. I was like, yeah, stop working for other people, work for yourself. And then the pandemic hit.
Antes de que hables de la pandemia, because I think this is where we're going, háblame de tu outfit. Like, I love your t-shirt.
So yeah, I made this t-shirt just for you. This is my company. This is my brand. This is like who I am now. And I love it. I finally found something like, I always wanted to make people happy. Like I'm a lot like you in that sense, that I just want people to be happy around me. Like I don't want drama. If there's drama, like hit the door, like bye. And then like filling people's lives with memories that are gonna make them happy is kind of like what I'm all about. So that's what this stands behind. I lost my puppy, which sounds like, okay,
Oh, girl, we get it.
you know, I was super close to my dog was like my life. My niece had passed away a few years ago, and I suffered a lot through depression and anxiety because of her loss. She passed at 22 months, and Ruth, you lived that with me. Yeah. A lot. So I needed to find an outlet and kind of like explore and kind of like center myself into something that I can be so concentrated that I don't have to think about all the ugliness, you know? So then I found this, and I feel like it's my purpose now. Like I get to make so many cool things, and I never sewed a day in my life, and pandemic hit. I made a mess.
But then you make other things. You make the personalized t-shirts.
Other things. I make the earrings. I make t-shirts. I make tumblers. Then like I make jean jackets. I actually just made a really beautiful jean jacket for one of my best.
I love that. Let me see it.
Like,
Kelly, you said dream
dealer.
I've seen that you do weddings and stuff, and you do.
I'm starting to get into the wedding industry. Like, look how cute
stuff. I love that. That's so cute.
And then, so I'm doing like a lot of different things, acrylic signs. So what I mainly have all of my things on Instagram, and it's kind of like becoming more of a word of mouth kind of thing. And I do embroidery too.
The best way to reach you is through a touch of Ari, and then you can just request what you need.
You request what you want. Like my motto is, you dream it, I make it. And the possibilities are endless. So whatever you can fit into your brain that you want to get done, I will figure out how to make it for you.
Where do you like, where would you want to see your company be at? Like, what is the goal? Like, what do you want to?
Where I would like to see my company at is that I can just dedicate myself 24/7 to this. Like, this is like, my dream is like to have my own store and like just feature my things. So have my workshop in the back, and then have in the front like my products. And like people come in and like, I'm going to Disney in a month, I want this, and have like a catalog for them to pick from, and they can like modify it and personalize it to the way they want. And like, all right, come back in like 3 weeks, like we'll have your orders available, have like a million machines in the back, my embroidery machines, all the things. And like have like a little store that you can just come to, take cute pictures for Instagram.
Okay, vamos al round de las preguntas rápidas.
Oh boy. Let me take some.
You ready? Hold on, let me take a sip too. Coffee or tea?
Coffee. You've seen my coffee.
Talk to me about those concoctions you make, because she makes some like fancy coffees at home, and she'll be putting the recipes on her Instagram, and I'm like, oh wow. Day or night?
Night. I'm a night owl.
But you go to sleep kind of early. You don't go to sleep too late.
Oh, I go to sleep late. Like I'm working at night. At night is when I do my best work, and I do my best thinking in the shower.
What's your favorite sound?
A baby's laugh.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, that's cute. Favorite place in the world?
I think it's a toss between the beaches in the Philippines and Greece.
Okay, I want to go to the beaches in the Philippines. I hear they're beautiful.
They're like white sand, crystal clear, that you can see your feet. Voy a hacer una pregunta rápida a ti. Pool or ocean? Got him.
I think ocean, just because I do like nature. I prefer it. Like, it's just, the pool is a different vibe. I enjoy it very much too. Like, I like water, just like hang out. I like that to be chill. I like a jacuzzi if I had to choose. The jacuzzi moment, you know? New clothes or new phone?
New clothes.
Right?
Yeah.
If you could eat a food for the rest of your life, what would it be? The kind
Pizza.
of pizza?
It's food. Forever. A thin crust, Little Caesars pizza.
Specific.
Very specific.
A musical artist that you're super into right now.
Always J-Lo.
Yeah, you're into her right now.
No, I'm always into her. Like, that's all. Or I'm real.
What you get is what you see. What you trying to do to me. You wanna say you're fine. Be with you all the time. Sweet or salty?
Salty.
A guilty pleasure.
Binge watching.
What exactly? Because people have said, like, in that question, people say particular shows. What show? Is there a show that you've been watched recently?
Recently, Ginny and Georgia and Ginny. Like
And
that.
and what is binge watching to you?
Like, me pasé todo un sábado watching it.
La última pregunta que le pregunto a casi todo el mundo, y a veces la gente tiene una, a veces no, pero this might be interesting on your side. Your favorite curse word?
Not very ladylike.
Loca, ¿qué importa? We're
Pinga! Pinga!
Oh, you know what you said, the pinga? You'd be like, lo del pan con pinga. That's so funny.
Or vete pa la pinga. And I love cursing in Portuguese. That's my favorite.
Okay, tell me your favorite curse word in
Well,
Portuguese.
at work, constantly to myself, I go, puta que pariu.
La madre que te parió.
Yeah.
La madre que te parió. Yeah, we say that.
Que pariu.
Thanks for being a part of
Bruja Brunchera.
Bye.